So this is eBoy. Wait, hold on. This is eBoy. There are 3 of them. They're computer artists, or artists that use computers.
I think we are 3 guys that work with pixels and make images.
Images like a chair, or that robot from RoboCop, some nude hippies, a cool car.
In the end, we do everything with a pen tool, so it's a very, I think, the most basic tool in Photoshop is used to draw each pixel.
The size of the pen tool is just 1 pixel, 1 by 1.
Everything is made like this, 1 pixel at a time, so it's really labor intensive, but they've been doing it for nearly 20 years. So they've made a lot of stuff, like a ton of stuff. So here they are again, eBoy. Freeze frame. Sven, Kai, and Stefan. They all met here in Berlin, the capital of Germany, home of the Brandenburg Gate, the Berlin Wall, sausage walkers, and world-class graffiti. Stefan and Sven have been friends since they were teenagers. Then when they met Kai in the mid-90s, the group was complete. Between the 3 of them, they've made images of Honda, Adobe, Yahoo, Total, Groove Armada, Uniqlo, Mountain Dew, Asics, Xbox, Lacoste, DKNY, Haribo, HBO.
Kid Robot, we work with Nike a lot, Paul Smith, Adidas as well, with
Coca-Cola,
New York Times magazine, Wired magazine.
But that's just to pay the rent. I mean, what they're really excited about are these giant pixel cities they build in their free time. They're pixel versions of real cities.
Because people know New York, for example, and they see an interpretation of New York, and that's always interesting to see. Something you know, how it's seen from a different side.
They've actually built a lot of cities: Berlin, Venice, London, Cologne, New York, Tokyo, Baltimore, Los Angeles, Paris, Rio, and Marseille. And they call them pixoramas, pixelized, stylized versions of cities. Working in their free time, each one takes 2 or 3 years to complete. And as of today, they've created over 9,000 little parts.
We have a huge database with thousands of objects in it, and everything can be reused. The pixel is modular.
Modular. Now this is the key.
So you can very easily reuse pixels and combine them.
So like you can get this car and then take this guy out and put this other guy in, or take away his eye, or whatever. Also, everything is isometric.
So the things that are in front have the same size as the things that are in back.
So I can take this topless lady and have her move all the way over to this construction site, or have her hang out at this rooftop barbecue. You can move her wherever you want, and she'll always be topless, always the right scale. This is a doner. It's a lot like a gyro, but it has like different vegetables, different sauces. Doners are delicious. There's even a donor place in their Berlin Pixorama. Look at all this stuff. Look at all the detail. Why would anyone devote their life to building something like this?
What's funny is that at home we had a picture from Bruegel. Do you know Bruegel? And I grew up with it, and it's a scene with a lot of people.
Of course, Bruegel. All those little details, that little universe, frozen in time. Could it be that when Kai was a kid, life outside his home was too complex, full of confusion and constantly changing? But the world of the painting never changed. He could examine it, understand it, and maybe now, that's what he does with our world.
to be honest, I don't think it has anything to do with what we do.
Maybe unconsciously.
Yeah, but I don't think so.
Yeah.
It turns out it was more practical than that.
For example, you design something on a computer, a layout for an image. You just do something on your screen. Then when you go to print, you have to deal with a different color space. You have a CMYK versus RGB on the screen. Then you have to deal with the printer who uses some kind of special inks. And then you have to deal with a guy that puts more ink or less ink. And so the result for me I was never happy about anything I printed. I could live with it, but more often than not, I was like, I like to make a thing and then that's the thing. But the bad thing about making one thing is that you cannot copy it. So I wanted to become an artist at some point, but I didn't want to make stuff that I have to sell to live, and then that guy puts it on his wall, which might be nice or not. I would never see that stuff again. I hated to leave it alone. So that was the reason why digitally was so extremely important, being able to share without having to leave your work.
They say a common sign that a pixorama isn't complete is if you look around it and you can't find anywhere you'd like to be.
We have a theory that there has to be a place where you have to be able to relax. So if everything is just in your face, I don't want to be there. So if we see that we cannot go into it, it might be a source of a problem. So for example, here you have this scene in a cafe where the guys are sitting with the computers. And that's, for example, a place I think everyone from us I'd love to be there.
Yeah, there are all these Apple employees working, the blue shirts. They're not working, they're having their lunch, or I don't know, their coffee.
Genius lunch.
Yeah.
But they didn't always have genius lunches. I mean, up until the fall of the Berlin Wall, both Sven and Stefan lived in East Berlin.
When you are a teenager and you see that you can't go through the wall, you see the wall every day and you can't travel, so, and you see it on television, the West, all the cool stuff. All the bands played in West Berlin, so you could hear it in the radio. But you couldn't go there, so. But we had some cool stuff going on too, like East German bands playing in like churches and stuff, like in really strange places. It was very, very cool as well, but that weren't the bands we wanted to see in the first place, so. But growing up in East Germany was pretty normal.
It was a bit like a surreal moment when all of a sudden you can go to the other side of the city. Before that it was like a secret, hidden world, and now it was just possible, and it took a while to believe it that it's now normal.
For me it was like, I really, after the wall came down, there was advertising everywhere. So back then in East Germany it was really like black and white, everything was kind of the same. I remember I first went to like a supermarket and it was like a gallery. All those cereal packages and boxes, and it was so exciting, just a really cheap supermarket here in this area.
It seems like everything they're excited about eventually gets immortalized in pixels and given a home in their cities. And they're pretty much excited about everything.
us, it's very important to have time to play, really.
Sit-ups. 1, 2, 3.
We are really lucky to have met. You see it on bands sometimes. It's just luck that somehow they met and it was a good fit. And for us, it's just good that we are happy and we can live from it. And we enjoy our work, and it's great, I guess.